Hi, my name is Liz and I work for Rev, and with me today is my colleague Kaci. Today in this series, we're going to go through how to add digital court reporting onto your current traditional model.
Yeah, we're really excited about this conversation. We're really going to dive into embracing digital court reporting. What does it mean? What are the myths and misconceptions? Then we'll kind of go into your business plan and implementation to help improve your margin and growth strategy for your company. And lastly, we're going to sum it up with technology and operational excellence so you can be sure you're getting the same product that you need each day for your clients.
Absolutely. So let's kind of start way back at the beginning. How has the role of a court reporter changed over the years? What are the different methods that have been used over the past few decades?
This actually, I find extremely entertaining and amusing because in researching this, court reporters go back to Egypt. It's a really robust and interesting history there. It also comes into our country and the building of it. There were court reporters at the Declaration of Independence.
Sure.
Charles Dickens was a court reporter.
Sure.
But when we talk about the evolution today and what we traditionally know, you go to pen writers. And, the ampersand goes back to pen writing. That's where, and we still see it and use it today.
Right.
But then you have the introduction of stenographers, which are amazing, and the gold standard actually went to school in stenography. And it's a amazing skill to possess.
Absolutely.
And that evolved into voice, which we both know really well.
Right.
And now today we're going to talk about digital, which is really the next technological evolution.
Right. And I do want to add in, because we were both voice writers, that voice was actually introduced by the military. And for many years, the military used that in their JAG units. And
nice.
Okay, so let's kind of get down to the nitty gritty. How does digital reporting differ from traditional stenography or voice writing?
So I love the question there where you say differ. And what I want to focus on is how is it the same?
Okay.
So there's still somebody that is the protector of the record. Somebody holds the integrity and keeps the access to justice free flowing for the whole community. So that's priority number one. A certified individual is in that room taking the record. Where digital is going to differ is it's evolving technology. It is not simply pressing record on a machine. It's understanding the proceedings that are taking place, having confidence monitoring in your equipment, and ensuring that everybody is comfortable with your processes in the room, going straight to the development of the transcript at the end that, in my mind, has more checks and balances than other methods of court reporting.
Right.
What's your opinion there? You've actually been in the room as a digital.
So the main thing that really bothers me, and I think we need to get it out there, is the myths about digital court reporting, that it's just somebody goes in and presses a button and walks away, or they don't need any training besides learning how to press a button. So those are kind of things that I think we need to get over that stigma, and people need to realize that the transcript of a digital reporter has several layers on it. So it may not be that reporter who's actually transcribing it, but that reporter is actually taking annotations, notes, time-stamped, able to control the room. If somebody speaks over each other, their job, just like a traditional reporter, is say, we need a clear record. We need to make a clear record here, and you need to speak one at a time. It's much more involved than people realize. There's certifications. There's CDR, Certified Deposition Reporter, Certified Electronic Reporter, Certified Electronic Transcriber. So, and these are rigorous tests that people have to go through.
I agree. And what I find is out there in social media and the presence in other forums is some individuals will see those annotations and say, oh my goodness, that's their record. That's what they're doing. No, that's just the real-time note-taking. It's similar to a brief that you would jot down on your machine or take on your voice machine. That is ingested into the final transcript on the back end, which, similar to other court reporting methods, there's steps and checks and balances where you have scopists and proofreaders. We have transcriptionists and QC teams. So they mirror each other.
And I was just thinking that about scopists and proofreaders. There's really not much of a difference.
You mentioned controlling the room and having confidence monitoring within the ecosystem itself as a reporter. To expand on that, what do you think are the key responsibilities of a digital reporter that you find valuable?
So they need to confidence monitor, right? So when the audio's on, they need to make sure nothing's interfering with that audio, whether it be something in the room electronic or, a microphone placed in the wrong place. Sometimes lapel mics, people will, take off their jacket. So if they need to be constantly monitoring that audio to make sure it's crystal clear. Another thing is that their annotations, their annotations need to match up, needs to be time-stamped, matched to the audio. So later when you have a transcriptionist going through it and something odd happens, they can see in those annotations what's going on. Or say there's multiple attorneys, they can note who's objecting.
It's like a timestamp of exactly what's happening in the room. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's how you're going to solidify the record. And you're going to make sure that it's a cohesive proceeding where every event is marked and accounted for throughout the whole thing, leveraging technology.
Absolutely. And it's the same with like a stenographer's notes. They're taking down what's happening in the room and who's objecting. They're doing the same thing digitally, just like a voice writer would with their voice.
Yeah. And so now that we're talking about voice writing and digitally, let's dive into the three big terms that are out there, AI, ASR, and digital. These are used interchangeably, I find, and they're actually very different things. So when we talk about AI, and especially in this industry, it's something that enhances the ability to transcribe something. And
so what I do want to bring up about that is so many people today are terrified of the word AI. They think it's taking their jobs. It's, going to take over the world. AI is just a tool that's used in digital reporting. It doesn't even have to be used. There's digital reporters who just have somebody transcribe from scratch, but it's a time saver and it's technology, and that's going to be the way of the future.
Yeah, it's more like the specialized tools for this version of court reporting, similar to a CAT machine where it ingests the steno and outputs it in English. It's just a tool to get there.
Or similar to in the beginning of voice writing, there was specialized software that would recognize one voice. So ASR for one voice, and then they would go through and edit it.
Can we all just say we all remember training that?
We all remember training for hours and hours and hours, yes, ad nauseum.
So now today speech engines are able to train more efficiently and more quickly and adapt to multiple voices.
And that was the whole push forward in technology that made this possible, is the multiple voices.
Yeah, and what this does not mean is that there's no one in the room. There's just a recording that takes the record. There always needs to be a human in the loop, as we say in this industry. We're just giving that human a laser beam to focus exactly what they're doing.
And it gives you tools to get the transcript done ethically and much faster. You can turn it around. It takes about, to type something by hand, it's about 4 hours for every hour of audio, say. Yeah. 3 hours if you're super fast. With ASR, that a fraction of the time.
Yeah, absolutely. The efficiency ratio goes almost double.
So it used to be almost impossible for a voice writer to get something out same day, or a digital to get something out same day or next day.
Now it's here.
With ASR, it's 100% possible, and it's happening every day.
So in your mind, having come from a court reporting agency and building it out and hiring the digital reporters, what is pushing the drive and the need for these changes? Knowing that stenos are always going to be the gold standard, the best of the best, but what is pushing for the access to justice to include digital?
So there's a shortage. I think everybody's aware that there's a shortage of court reporters. There's people retiring every day, and there's less schools, and there's a need for justice to keep going. Attorneys, I've heard them complain about nobody showing up. They can't find a court reporter for their deposition. They have to put it off. They have to ask the court reporting agency when they have somebody available. So there's really no need for that to happen when all these methods can kind of work together. Nobody's saying, like, if you have a current traditional CSR model that you have to change to 100% digital, but adding it on is going to allow you to serve your clients better.
Yeah, it's going to give you more growth opportunities, and the margins might be a little bit better because the access and the barrier to entry for a digital reporter is lower. Now, that does not mean the digital reporter is subpar and trained. It's just the skill set to be able to execute on the technology. It's a shorter bandwidth.
And it's the same if you go back to stenography. Voice writing is quicker than stenography. Digital is quicker than voice writing.
Yeah,
and
with
it's
the
just
same output.
Progress, right?
Yeah, progress.
Just progress.
So how can adopting digital reporting help court reporting firms stay competitive in your mind?
So you're future-proofing your business. 10 years from now, you may not be able to find a stenographer. They're in huge demand.
Yeah, and the pass rate for the exam is incredibly low.
It's incredibly low. And you also will stay at the forefront of technology. Things are being developed all the time to help make this job quicker, faster.
Easy. But what you're not saying is degradation of the transcript. There's nothing being developed that will degrade that transcript, because that's what matters.
Absolutely not. And there's always going to be a human set of eyes on the transcript. Yeah. And there's more layers usually on a digital reporter.
There's more scrutiny on the digital reporters.
And their transcript has to be better.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of the thought I had when we would send out digital reporters, is that this has to be a good transcript, because people are looking at it like, is it going to be?
Yeah, they
a
got their
mess.
backs against the wall. And honestly, the struggle of the business owners to get a court reporter in the room is very real.
Right.
There's multiple reports that will show that there is a
Right.
shortage. It is hard to get a certified individual in that room.
Right. And they can't cover jobs. They
No,
just
they
can't cover
can't.
the jobs.
And so that impedes the access to justice for, say, stay-at-home mom that got in a car accident and really needs to get her case settled.
Sure.
They can't get a court report in the room.
And it also takes money out of the pocket of the agencies, let's face it. I mean, the bottom line is you're in business to make money.
Oh, yeah. And the margins where they would be better for a digital versus steno, do digital reporters business-wise not make the same page rate or even paid similarly to digital? No, but it's because the barrier to entry and the ability to hit the ground running and evolve with technology in this industry goes up. So those digital reporters are able to take more jobs.
Because the way I like to look at it very simply is it's almost like dividing the job into two parts. Somebody to take down, somebody to transcribe. In the traditional model, you have the same person, soup to nuts, go take the job, turn in the transcript done. When you have somebody who's just taking the job and making the annotations, you can go out every day. I mean, you've worked as a reporter, and I have as well, that it's impossible to take all day hearings every single day and still get your jobs in on time. I mean, you're working weekends, nights. It's just impossible to keep that up for any period of time. So with digital reporting, and you have it broken in to separate parts, it is possible to send that person out every day.
I'm so happy that we had this discussion, and we've really dove into understanding the shift and where the industry is going and kind of embracing this new idea and the revolution that is going to come to court reporting, with one, ensuring that quality is at the forefront of everybody's mind. That's not being sacrificed. Right. Really dispelling the mess of what is a digital reporter, what is it not? And then how does this impact your business and how can we grow it? So in the next module that we'll go over, we're going to really discuss the microcosm of this all for your specific business. So I'm glad we covered all the high points.